The G305 is a $30 wireless mouse that is amazing for jitter and just in general use. Now the price is not $30 retail, but it is super easy to find for $30. The mouse is very comparable to one of the best jitter clicking mice, the G Pro X Superlight. This is not a pro or a con, but this mouse has a pretty small shape, measuring at around 117mm in length, 62mm in width, and 38mm tall. Now if you jitter, there shouldn't be a problem since most are using a fingertip grip while not touching the mouse other than the fingers. The width of the buttons may be a problem for some and can barely fit 2 fingers on mine. To compare, it is a little bit smaller than the Moto O. To get the battery in, you would need to slide open the cover and put in the battery. There you can find the receiver. Then switch the button on the back and plug in the receiver that is inside. Okay, let's start off with the pros. The battery life is 250 hours with a AA battery, and that is really good. You wouldn't really need to worry about ruining your battery by charging, and you can just always swap out the battery. There's a light on the top of the mouse that lights up when the battery life is low. This mouse has just amazing clicks using arm runs that is tuned well and doesn't feel too cheap, while being very light to actuate and feeling very similar to the Superlight. I'm not even a jitter clicker and I can easily get 13 to 14 CPS. This mouse can't double click very well and I can only get 15 CPS butterfly max and around 16 CPS drag. But you can still drag enough for god bridging, so you wouldn't really need another mouse for just god bridging alone. The surface is okay, being matte and not cheap feeling while giving some grip still. The surface is perfectly good for dry clicking. The build quality of this mouse is on par with the Superlight and has no wobbles or flexing. There is slight post travel with my copy, but this wasn't too serious to affect me. The software is very easy to use and you can customize the roles of the buttons and DPI, polling rate, macro, power mode, and to see your battery life. So the weight of this mouse is a little bit below 100 grams with the included battery, but I wouldn't say this is a con since really the weight is preference. I would say the best weight for most is around 75 grams. Also, the G305 can be modded to cut down the weight, like using a AAA battery and putting it into a AAA to a AA converter to make it around 85 grams. This mouse is also heavily available, and the sensor has no issues like with spin out, and the connection was perfect with no problems with a wireless connection. So let's get into the cons. This mouse has really small feet and doesn't really feel too great to look around and track players. There are many great aftermarket feet for this mouse, so this shouldn't be a big problem. The clicks are only rated for 10 million, so it's probably a good thing that it can't really drag that well anyways. Other than that, I don't really see any major problems. In conclusion, this mouse is just the best budget option in my opinion for people who don't need double clicking with amazing quality, clicks, and usage that goes far behind $30. This mouse literally gives you 80% of the experience of the Superlight in Minecraft while being literally 2/10 of the price. And if you do the mods, this will literally give you 9/10 of the Superlight. Well, for some, it may even be 11/10.